The UFC is back and they are headed to Saudi Arabia, which means we have a nice early fight card. And what better way to make some money watching your favorite sport than drinking some coffee while doing it? My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my PrizePicks entry for UFC Saudi Arabia. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than any of the numbers you see on the screen, and you can make some very real money. You string a few of these together, and you will absolutely print money. They'll even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do to get $50 deposited directly into your account is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP when you stand up, and build one little entry. You place one little entry of $5, you will instantly have $50 in your account to do with whatever you want. I'm going to give you an entry right now. You can use this one for your $5. A few minutes later, you'll have 50, and you could use that 50 for the Super Bowl. You can use that 50 for any sport that you want. You could even mix and match different sports together. We're going to focus on UFC, but go get your free money. WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks. Use promo code WWP. Let's go ahead and build our entry here. I am going to give you a 5-legger. And that's not true. We're going to stick with 4 legs. I really wanted to push it to 5, but I couldn't find the 5th that I liked. But let's go ahead and focus on the 4 that I do like. Let's work our way down. We are going to do a couple of significant strike lines, which I typically don't like, but there were a few here that I liked quite a bit. I'm not going to touch Terrence McKinney and Damir Hadzovic. Those are super low lines, but I mean, this fight could be a minute. Terrence could just come in, throw him to the ground, done. Or somehow Damir's 38-year-old ass could survive and drag it out a little longer. But let's go ahead, work past that, and fly right over to Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Let's go ahead and remove these. I'm going to do the more on that 18.5. Jairzinho Rozenstruik is a guy that is a counter striker, not typically a very high volume guy, right? He's waiting for you to pressure forward, for you to throw, so he can dip, he can slip. But I do think that he's going to land at least 19 meaningful punches in this fight, right? He should. Sergey Pavlovich is a dangerous, scary striker. He will come forward and he will come in hot. And if he lands with that speed and with that power, it's going to be a problem. But I think that the pacing ability of Jairzinho, the ability to stay out of the way, slow it all down, land some meaningful strikes, I think he can get to 19. So we're going to do the more there. I am also going to do the more on Israel Adesanya, 92.5 significant strikes. Israel Adesanya is a guy that lately has been putting up numbers. He cruised past this number, cruised past it in his last fight. In his last fight, he was taken down 4 times, controlled for a ton, and submitted in the 4th round, and he still landed far more than 92.5 significant strikes. The fight before that, he was dropped and almost finished in the 1st. Foggy-headed the rest of the entire fight, and he still landed more than 92.5. I think we do have a full 25-minute fight here, or at least close to it, and I think we do have an Izzy that lands quite a few strikes. He looked great in that Dricus fight, standing. And if he has that striking in this matchup, Nasruddin Imavov isn't quite the bully, the brute, the wrestler that Dricus du Plessis is. So I think Izzy can get to this number. And I'm going to do the exact opposite on Michael Page. 62.5 is an insane number for Michael Page. That's an insane number. My single most confident line, and listen, I've been wrong, these are fist fights, but my single most confident line on this entire card is the less on 62.5 significant strikes for Michael Page. Even in his UFC debut, which was a showcase against Kevin Holland, an absolute showcase, a masterclass in karate striking, the guy landed 40 significant strikes. This is 22 more strikes than that. Same amount of time, 22 more strikes than that. I don't think he's going to get to 62.5 significant strikes or 63 for us to lose. I just don't see it happening. So Michael Venom Page, while I do think can win this fight, and I'm very excited, I think it's a phenomenal co-main event, I don't think he's getting to this number. I think that's a crazy, crazy number. Let's go ahead, shoot on over to fight time minutes. We only have 5 options right now. By the time you're watching this, you may have a few more or a few less. I don't love any of these. The heavyweight feature fight, I mean, that fight could be a full 15 minutes, as was Sergey's last fight and Rozenstruik's last fight, or that thing could be a minute and a half. We're going to leave that alone. Shamil Gaziev, Thomas Peterson, similar story. I think that line is perfect where it is. I actually think it goes over. I bet the over 1.5 rounds. So I think we're good. I hope we get past that, but I'm going to leave that alone. Terrence McKinney, you never know what you're going to get with that guy. So I don't love any of the fight time minutes. We're going to skip fantasy and go to takedowns. If there was a couple other lines here, like if we had Jasmine Jasudavicius, more than 1.5, I would hammer that. But we don't. This is all we have. Terrence McKinney, 1.5 takedowns, might not even need it. Said Nurmagomedov is a striker. I was very, very tempted to do the less. But every now and then he shows up, shoots a few takedowns. I do think the less on Said Nurmagomedov is a sneaky good play if you want to throw that into your lineup. Because Said Nurmagomedov is a striker, not a wrestler. And Vinicius Oliveira showed us that incredible takedown defense in his last fight. He defended 9 of Ricky Simone's takedowns. So that could be a sneaky good one, but I'm going to leave that alone. And we are going to go to fantasy score. What I do like here is our buddy, Mike Davis. We're going to do the more on Mike Davis's fantasy score. Let's go ahead and look at that scoring chart. You get 0.6 points for every significant strike landed, 6 points per takedown. Mike Davis has 14 takedowns in his last 3 fights. His takedown defended, you get 3 points. Submission attempts, you get 5. A knockdown is 12. And then you get bonuses based off wins. If he finishes Faraz Ziam, we're going to cruise past this number. In a decision, if he has a couple of takedowns, a good amount of strikes, we will still get past this number. So I think 80 was a pretty low number for a guy that I think is just a far better fighter. So this is my entry. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We have the $20 flex pay. $20 wins us 100. And that can include getting one wrong, a flex play. So if we get all 4 of these correct, we're going to 5 times our money. If we get 3 of them correct, we will 1.5 times our money. So we can afford to lose one of these lines and still get paid. We have Israel Adesanya, the higher on his significant strike line. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, the higher on his significant strike line. The lower on Michael Venom Page's, and then the higher on Mike Davis's fantasy score. This is my entry. If you love it, great. If you hate it, that's fine too. Get the free money. Get the free money. Get the free money. If you haven't done PrizePicks yet, I'm telling you, it is a ton of fun. It's legal in like every state, and that's because it's daily fantasy and not gambling. You get all the rush of watching a fight and rooting for your guys. Super easy, super flexible, ton of fun. You get your free money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Promo code WWP.